just to show you how I prep this, I've taken the little piece of string out from inside of the wing where we had taped it on earlier. I run it between two of the servo wires and I give it a good wrap or two around here both directions. Then what I like to do is I tie a good, just a knot. It's not going to slip. Granny knot is all I do, nothing special, nothing fancy. And what I do, handy dandy electrical tape again. Stuff's great because it stretches but it doesn't give, and it holds really well and yet can be easily removed. Line the string up so that's right in the middle where we want to be of the servo lead itself. Wrap it around once really good so that you've got kind of the tension coming down there. Now that should give you everything you need. I'm just going to use this little piece of tape just for fun. I'm going to wrap it on here as well just to, because it's here handy anyway, might as well use it. Okay, now got this here. I've got the servo. I've got the servo lead hole cut. I'm going to slowly but surely begin to feed this through, and I'm just pulling gently so we can keep it tensioned on the other side. I don't want to pull it hard. Sometimes it'll get stuck and you got to kind of bounce it around, get it in a different position. Do whatever you got to do to gently get it through. If you got to put too much pressure, or if you're pulling too hard on it, you know it's jammed up, don't do it. Back off, twist the thing around, get it around. And I've got it through now. So now we're servo wire to servo wire. We're set, pull that through. There. Now the next step, of course, is going to be to drill the holes and secure that this cover. So it's a 1/16 inch bit. Have a quick look. See, there's lots of meat around it. Bring it in, square it up. 1/16 inch hole. Careful you don't go too far through because you don't want to drill into the top of the wing. So controlled pressure. Now in the manual they talk about using, measuring it and putting little squares on it and everything like that. That's a good idea. A guy could do that. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm not gonna. Same deal. Harden those holes. Just a drop or two of CA. There we go. Put one drop in the back of the hatch. Now that is how you do it. Now let that CA firm up, and then you use the screws that are provided and attach it. But before you do that, you want to electronically center this servo. Okay, I mentioned earlier that I'd already bound this receiver and created a profile in my DX8. I've got it set at Spitfire Mark II, Spitfire 2. I've also marked, for ease of memory, just put a big black line on the top so that I know that the black or the dark negative wire on any 3-wire hookups going to the top there. I'm just using an old ESC. You can use whatever you'd use to, you could even take, if you had your 4.8 volt pack and set up already, you could put it in here to power this, but I'm just using an old ESC to power this. Just going to plug it in, turn it on, and then once it's turned on, I've centered my servo. With the I'm going to shift everything down so you can see where I'm at. I've got zero trim on this, of course, and I don't want trim on this right now. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the servo. You see it's not centered, right? The servo's centered, but the actual arm is not. So what I'm going to do is I'll just carefully remove the screw. That is a beautiful little thing. Pop this off. I'll get it as close to center as I can. It's going to usually be off one way or the other way. As long as it's consistently forward or consistently back, front to back, or on both sides, it doesn't matter. Because that is as close to center as I can get it. Mechanically centered, or electronically centered, with zero trim on it. Now I'm going to sub-trim later on, and that's fine. Just going to push this all the way up. Okay, so now that's how it's going, is slightly forward of center, and I'll do the same on the back. What I'm doing on my setup is I'm using 7 channels for the aircraft and an 8th channel for the electronic ignition. The 6 normal channels will be throttle, elevator, aileron, or rudder, ailerons 1, and flaps. That's your and landing gear. So those are your 6. But I'm going to run dual channels. So my 7th channel will actually be used for one aileron, and they'll be able to then be independently sub-trimmed. So that's how we're going to work on it. And then the 8th channel, like I say, will be my ignition kill switch. Okay, little hint here. Before I had done all this, what I had done is I'd actually, obviously to plug this into the receiver, I'd had to remove the lead, the piece of string, and carefully remove that and the tape that was on it. I kept the black electrical tape that I used to bullet it through, and I just used that to secure to the bottom side the servo lead, so that it does not have any chance of flopping back inside and getting lost. Now the next thing is going to be going through this pack, finding these 8 different little screws, there they are, and then securing the hatch. The servo hatches, securing screws are in with all these little parts here. So. Okay folks, sorry, I just realized a little bit ago after I was trying to download my video that I had a bit of an issue. The battery wore out on my camera, and I lost quite a bit of the last bit of this aileron portion. So I just thought I'd give you the kind of the quick and dirty of how I did it. After I secured the 4 bolts into the servo there, I used the receiver, which I've already bound to my transmitter, my DX8. Powered it up with the aileron in the right spot, so you got right and left ailerons. I've already set up my DX8 that way. So powered it up, centered it electronically, and then I used with a little bit of tape. I just took some tape over top of the joins on the ailerons, or the seams of the ailerons where they come together with on the wing, right? And then you just basically run a piece of tape over the gap and use it to do it on both sides, front and back, and that way it holds your aileron level. Use the control rod with this screwed on, so that you've got probably a 1/8 of an inch or a little bit more of play either way. I'm using full throw, so I like to have lots of throws, and you can dumb it down, and might as well set it up so you have maximum mechanical throw. Measure, put it parallel to this. Put the control horn down as it's parallel to the control arm on the servo. Put the horn down here. I put a little outline around it. Then I use a 1/16 inch drill bit, and then with the drill, I'm coming at a consistent angle straight down through all 3 holes. It's big enough. I usually went in and behind afterwards. Like, I just marked it first, started it with a 1/16, went up to the 5/64, I believe. So that there's just a little bit of slop for the control horn screws. Get them started through. Make sure you get a nice alignment, and then snug it down. Once it's snugged down, you take your clevis, put it through the bottom there, come back, run it up beside the top of the now electronically centered servo arm, mark where you want your bend to be. Then I take that and I put the bend just above the edge of the vise. So if my control horn's here, and I would probably just have the mark just above where the vise is. Bend it over by hand. Take it out. We've got a 90-degree bend, or pretty close to a 90-degree bend. And what I'll do is I'll just use the needle nose to make it 90 degrees. Side cutters to cut it off so that you've got about a centimeter of play. So you want about a centimeter of play afterwards down here coming out. Then take that quarter inch of heat shrink, put it on through the back, throw the bend through the control arm. I had to actually, because these are high-tech servos, I had to use the I think it was 5/64 or I think it's 5/64 drill bit to just hand ream the control horn out. I used the far outside control horn on the servo, and the bottom hole on the control horn on the aileron. That way you get maximum mechanical throw. And then of course you put your locks on. These are simple devices. They just slide on. You slide them down, and then use the needle nose to pressure it down and snap it into place, and they're not coming loose. That's where we're at right now.